Okay, I'm excited today for this presentation, My Life, My Power program. And Dan Puder, are you here? Would you like to come forward and tell us about this program? Welcome to the Arizona Senate.
Madam Chair, thank you, Senators. My name is Daniel Puder. I'm going to have Ed Massey, the past president of the National School Board Association, one of our board members, just start off and give you guys some context about what we're doing and how we're doing it.
Madam Chair, Senators, good morning. It's a pleasure to be here, and I want to tell you a little bit about this program. I met Daniel about 5 years ago at the National PTA meeting where I served on their board. And one of the things educators always want to do is change the lives of young people because it makes a difference in our communities. And so when I looked at his program and heard about what he does, I was inspired. And educators like to go around and try to promote things for the benefit of children, and that's what we're trying to do today. So I'm considered an honor to be here with him. I know his program works. I know it'll make a change in your state and your communities, and we hope that you'll pay particularly close attention to what he's giving you today.
Thank you. We designed My Life, My Power 5 years ago when I got on national TV, and I said, I will come to your school if you're being bullied. When I was a kid, I was bullied. I was picked on, because I wasn't just in special ed classes and I was slower at reading and comprehending, but I was one of the slowest kids in the mile run. You look at me today and I'm an undefeated MMA fighter. I won $1 Million Tough Enough on WWE, but I wanted to do something with my celebrity to make an impact in this world. In 8 weeks, I got over 10,000 emails from 12 different countries, and I had kids saying how they were being bullied. I had adults telling me how their kids were being bullied. But what I didn't get is I didn't get the adults that were older that didn't have kids that said, I wish you were at my school when I was a kid and you could step up and protect me. So we started going around the country and we started asking kids what their biggest challenges were. We started seeing that they were being raped, molested, they were being beat, all the challenges that they were going through that then was taking them to go to school and pick on each other, to use drugs, to join gangs for protection. It was the fear-based society that was going on in their lives and their perception of life. So what we did in the last 5 years is we've created a platform and we've created a program where it's a technology safer social network that goes around and we do pre and post assessments with every single kid. We run them through either a 5-unit or a 20-unit program. And this last October we did an International Red Ribbon Movement Day in California, Arizona, Texas, and Florida. And we got up and we said, hey, we're going to solve problems, not just put a damper on it, we're going to solve it. Yesterday I was with the police chief and a vice mayor of one of the cities in Arizona, and I said, is it possible to solve drugs? And they looked at me and they said, no. I go, but is it possible? Because when I was a fighter, I didn't just think it was possible that I was going to win every time. I knew that I was going to win. I'm an undefeated MMA fighter. I didn't go into a cage just to go into a cage to fight. I went in there to win every single time. So we created a platform, as you can see on the PowerPoint, 3 main things that we do. We're able to save time and money, generate revenue for school systems, because then the cops aren't running after the kids, they're not being arrested, they're staying on track, they're staying dedicated to their education, to their future. And we inspire proactivity. We find that when we stretch out as a pro athlete and we do the consistency of being proactive, we get less injury. It's the same thing with kids. When we inspire them at a younger age, we grow them, we create more vision and purpose-driven youth. They fall through because they know what their vision and their purpose is in life. A gang kid, when I was speaking at Sheriff Arpaio's Juvenile Hall Center one day, they knew what they wanted to do when they left, but they said they were going to go back to the same neighborhood, back to the same family, and keep getting arrested over and over and over. They didn't really know what their purpose was, but they knew that they wanted to make something out of themselves. We created an online digital platform so that we can now go around to every single state and make it so simple for every single school, after-school program, to be pre- and post-assessed. And we work with Nova Southeastern University to do these pre- and post, where we do self-esteem, self-efficacy, purpose of life, victimization, aggression, and empathy. We want to understand the kid before, and we want to understand them after. So every single kid that we work with, we make sure that they're improving, or if they're not improving, we want to know why. Was it the training we provided didn't work right? Was it the teachers that worked with the kids didn't work right, or was it the kids that didn't maybe understand based upon cultural or language barriers? We've gotten over 350 pro athletes and celebrities to film PSAs, to come out to schools, to be a part of what we're doing. Now, the great part is the celebrities and pro athletes that we're working with, they're not Lindsay Lohans, they're not Justin Biebers. We want inspiring athletes and celebrities with morals and values to be able to impact our kids in a positive way. Our team consists of a few different people. Myself, I founded it with Brittany Lozano. Ed Massey just came on board to run our advisory board, and Brittany Lozano's uncle, Henry Lozano, founded a thing called Red Ribbon Week 30 years ago. 4 years ago, he saw what Brittany and I were doing, and he said, oh, this sounds pretty cool. A year and a half ago, he said, I want to partner up with you, because 30 years ago, when we invented the Red Ribbon Week, all we did for 1 week per year is tell kids don't do drugs. What are you supposed to fill it with? What are they supposed to do instead of that? Where are they supposed to go? If you just tell somebody no, you're not teaching them what to do. You're not guiding them. So he came on board, and we created the International Red Ribbon Movement. We have Jamie Harris, who's sitting here today, and Carla, that came on our team. And then we have the ASAC of the FBI, Lieutenant Colonel in the Marines. James Ream with the LA School Police Department. We have judges. To be able to see the platform that we've created, I've gone to every single person across the country in the different markets, and I said, how do we solve problems? Not how do we just continue to do the same thing over and over? How do we really make that impact? Our evidence-based, we did 3 studies so far. The first study was in Texas 3 years ago, and we did it in a court system. The second study was in Florida and New York, which is this one. We increased self-esteem, purpose of life, and we decreased aggression and victimization. The third study we're finishing right now, and every single study goes through Nova Southeastern University. Nova was interesting because their psychologist came on board, and then I sat with their dean, and I showed their dean what we were doing, how we were impacting kids. Their dean took us to the curriculum committee, and the curriculum committee brought us in and said, we want this not only for our college kids, we want it for our professors. So March 7th, we launched the first transformational mindset college course in the country that's 3 credits. We're going to have 3 3-credit courses total that get these students, whether in college or the professors, to be able to interact, build each other, and really look at long-term solutions for our country. And the last slide is we did a competitive analysis. And we looked at the different programs that were out there right now. The first 2 are the My Life, My Power and Red Ribbon, International Red Ribbon Movement that we created. And then we have the DARE, the GREAT, the Do the Right Thing, MAD, and Red Ribbon Week. And what we find is at the bottom you can see 4 of them are negative. The DARE, GREAT, MAD, and Red Ribbon Week. They're very short. They're not long-term. They're not mentor to mentor. And they come from a negative point of don't do drugs, don't join gangs, the more the don't side of it. With Do the Right Thing, it's the positive one that we found around the country, and it gives a piece of candy or a little certificate if you do something good. But with ours creates more vision and purpose-driven kids. And I'll tell you one story. Today we have Officer Lumadou from the Buckeye Police Department here. And he's sitting in the back, and he picked up our program almost 4 years ago. And he said, I want to take this into a few of my schools, and he took it into a couple of them, and he started seeing the kids' impact. There was one girl named Kayla. She was in 8th grade last year. She spoke at the Senate about 4 months ago, and she was cutting herself. Her dad was in jail, and her family was going homeless. Some major challenges in her family, and she was taking it out on herself in a very negative way. Jeff came into her life, and we introduced the program to her. I sat down with her for an hour and gave her some options and an opportunity to really get to where she wants to go in life. Today, she was on the football team this last year as a freshman. She wanted to be the first NFL quarterback in the NFL. She stopped cutting herself. Her dad got out of prison. And her mother, at the event at the Senate, I believe she said to Jeff, don't contact my family anymore. She wanted to keep that distance away, or maybe it was a little bit before that, because the father just got out of jail. He didn't understand the whole situation yet. A few months later, when I came out at the football team, her father thanked Jeff for everything he's done for his daughter. A man that just got out of jail that had major challenges in his life. So we look at every single one of these kids as a success long term. They might not succeed 100% today, but when we stick with them, we mentor them, we love them, we care about them, and we create more vision and purpose-driven youth around them, we create a better community and a better world. To finish it off, I have Jamie Harris. He's going to finish off, and if you guys have any questions, that would be amazing.
Thank you, Daniel. I'm going to ask you to stay up here for a second. Nice to be with you all. And just want to do a quick demonstration, if you will. We've found through our evidence-based curriculum that resist me. When we resist violence and drugs, these things persist. We keep putting the focus on the drugs and the violence. We're asking for the possibility of revolving, a revolution, if you will, of the focus of what we're up to with mentorship with kids. Instead of keep telling them what not to do, inspire them and ask them, what do you want to do and how can I support you in achieving that? How can we find and connect you with the mentors, the coaches, the corporate employees, whoever it is, that will help them fulfill a vision for their future? Building the value for them to show up at school, building the value for them to really take on their work and really take themselves on in a new way. Support one another. We'll have, the way that our program works is as the kids progress through K through 12, the 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th graders, they start to mentor the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th graders. And they see, because I started taking myself on back in 4th grade, now that I'm in 12th grade, I'm ready to go to college, I'm ready to be a pro athlete, whatever it is. You can do this too if you are dedicated, committed, vision-driven, purpose-driven. And so that's really what this chart is showing, is that what we offer is the possibility, and it's not just in person. Obviously, we want to come and we want to speak and inspire kids. But we really believe that the school systems are really ripe to make a leap in terms of the use of technology. And our back end of our website is built to be a safe social network for kids to interact and share their success stories and be inspirations to one another.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And for the record, sir, will you give your name? I don't know if the secretary was able to get it.
Jamie Harris.
Jamie Harris. Thank you very much, Jamie and Daniel. This is wonderful that you're devoting your life to doing this and helping young people. Thank you very, very much for that. There's so much need in the world, and just I love mentoring programs, because that's basically what I'm seeing from what you're saying is it's a mentoring type of program. And, when you have a good friend, as you know, when you were growing up, your friends had a lot of influence on you. So when someone mentors you and helps you, it really does make a difference. Is there? I want to thank Senator Smith. He's the one who asked me if I would have Daniel here today. And Senator Smith, is there something you would like to say, and any other questions from the members?
Well, thank you, Madam Chair. And I know Senator Begay has some points he wants to share as well. But like you said, Madam Chair, it's very inspirational when you have somebody like this who could have taken the $1 million that he won from WWE and done a whole lot of other things with it. And instead, I think the fact that you've decided to invest it into kids and in their future certainly speaks of your character and why you're in this. And so, I just encourage everybody in the education community that's out here today, please, take a minute, find Daniel, during this meeting, after this meeting. What we're trying to do is get him in front of as many people here in Arizona as we can that can help get him in turn in front of all these kids and principals that might need somebody like him and an organization like his. And so very proud of you, honored to know you, and best of luck, and God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Senator Begay?
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, Daniel, for your testimony, all the work that you're doing on behalf of youth, not only in the state but around the country. I was going to point out that I think you would definitely love the opportunity to speak with the Governor's Office of Youth, Faith, and Family. The Governor created a youth commission representing youth commissioners from every county throughout the state, and one of their big focuses, and the Governor's big focus, is bullying. And I mentioned Senator Smith will connect you with Deb Moak this morning. But one of the questions I wanted to ask you in what you brought up about the power of of instilling goals and passion in youth that often in our environment that is not promoting that. And I'll give you one example, and I use it quite often in an experience this past year in a community in my district, a tribal community in White River. And one of the things I love doing personally is likewise speaking to youth and talking about the importance of their own purpose and relevancy and hope in their own life and their own community. But one of the interactions I've had and a response I got from a young Native American youth was a response and asking him, what were your goals? And he said, why do I care and why do you matter? And so in your work, and has that something that has that been frequent in what you've done, and what have you done, and maybe some similar responses in the youth that you've worked with?
So there was a 10-year-old that got arrested in South Florida with 2 felonies by 10 years old. Stealing cell phones, and the judge calls me up because we have the first prison-to-school pipeline in the country. So we now have judges court-ordering kids into our program being mentored by cops in schools, and in March we're launching all of the whole entire in-school suspension, alternative schools, and prison system in Miami-Dade County with the judges, 5 federal agencies, and 7 police chiefs all on board. And this one kid, nobody knew what the reason was why he was doing it. Come to find out, his mother allegedly killed his father, beats him if he doesn't steal cell phones to pay for rent. So we found that out. We built a relationship with him, and he was very, very driven. And that's the one side of it. The driven kids that are the gangbangers, drug dealers, very simple to get them to switch a lane or look at something differently. It's kind of the difference between a sunrise and sunset, how we view it or how kids view the sunrise, sunset compared to an earthrise, earthset. We look at it as adults from 10 million miles away because we see the earth going around the sun. And it's really an earth set, earth rise. It's just different perspectives. And so what we do is the kids that are very wealthy, the kids that don't care as much, we create a different perspective and a different hope in their life. They want something. They love video games. My brother's a psychiatrist at Loma Linda Hospital, and he calls me this morning, and Ed and Jamie were in the car, and he goes, I have this one kid that just won't get off a couch. He doesn't want to leave his house. He loves to play video games. Where's the fear-based system in his life, that how he perceives life, because he doesn't want to take that next step to fail again or to be hurt or to be shamed, or there's always a reason why somebody does something. So our program isn't just to mentor another kid. Our program is to change their perspective and add value to their life, transform their life to who they really want to be and who they're blessed to be in life, and be able to give them the platform to be able to get there. And we give it 5 different things. It's vision, purpose, mission, team, commitment. Most people have a vision. They want to be a video game player, a monster truck driver, whatever they want to be, athlete. They don't know the real purpose. The 10-year-old kid that his buddies want to be an NFL player, an NBA player, that sort of thing, multiple sports careers. And I asked one of his buddies why. And he said, because I want to make money and get famous. And I said, what would you do with your money? He said, I'd buy my mother a mansion. His purpose isn't the money and fame. His purpose is to serve his family and serve his community. But they just don't know that. They don't realize that. So that's what we want. That's what we get to bring to the table every single day.
If I may highlight Daniel's recent TED Talk, it's going to be published in the next week or so, was really centered around the distinction between success and significance. So we all, especially here in America, have our definition of success. Many of us are driven by wealth, achievement. But significance is really the impact that we have on the community and families around us. And that's what we really want to inspire kids with, is if you achieve that success that's in your head or that's been, sort of sold to you, what are you going to do with it? As you were just describing, Senator Smith, Daniel could have done anything with his fame and success. And he's choosing a path of significance to make a real impact for our future. I've got a 9-month-old child, and that's why I'm here. I am committed to seeing a shift in the way that we bring up our children and educate them in terms of supporting one another and creating team and having them not feel like they're in it on their own, trying to make everything happen on their own. And the moment that they fail at something, they quit, they sit on the couch and do nothing but play video games. We get to support them. We get to be their champion. And it comes from all walks of life, whether it's a police officer in the schools, a professional fighter, I'm a yoga teacher and a personal trainer. We all get to pitch in.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Any other questions? Thank you, gentlemen, for coming. I hope you have a really great day in Arizona, and you can talk to a lot of school people. Be great. Thank you. All righty. We're ready for our spot.